He wore the uniform. He followed the orders. He fought for the country that now questioned if he even belonged. This is the story of Colonel David Carter. A black war hero who escorted a fallen soldier home, only to be stopped, dismissed, and humiliated, at the final gate. Not for a crime. Not for security. But because someone couldn't see past his skin. Colonel Carter wasn't new to sacrifice. He had served 28 years in the military. Iraq. Afghanistan. Syria. He had led troops through dust, fire, and silence. Colonel David Carter had escorted many soldiers in his lifetime. But this mission was different. Private Jason Reynolds was just 19. A fresh recruit who died saving others. And Carter was chosen to bring him home. At the airport, Carter approached the gate in full uniform, carrying military orders. Badges. Medals. A folder of orders. People looked. Some nodded. Some avoided eye contact. But Carter didn't care. He was focused on the mission. Until he reached the airline counter. But the airline agent frowned. "I'm sorry, sir. We can't confirm your seat." The woman barely looked up. He explained the situation. The military orders. The flag-draped casket waiting. Still, she insisted, "You'll have to wait." He explained the mission. Still, the agent shook her head. "Sir, there's nothing I can do." She looked past him. "Maybe try standby." People began to notice. A man in uniform. A coffin behind velvet ropes. The line behind him grew. People shifted. The silence thickened. He asked to speak with a supervisor. It took 10 minutes. The manager came, barely listening. "Look, sir, we understand. But policy is policy." Voices whispered. Someone said, "Are you serious? He's bringing a soldier home." Another added, "Is this how we treat our heroes?" Someone in the line spoke up. "He's a soldier. You can't treat him like that." Another person started filming. A woman whispered, "Isn't that a funeral escort?" A man shouted, "Let the man do his duty." The agent looked around. People were filming. Some even cried. The airline workers stiffened. The pressure shifted. A small crowd formed. What was quiet became loud. Carter didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. His presence was louder than anger. And finally, Colonel Carter didn't argue. He simply stood there. Tall. Calm. Unshaken. He adjusted his uniform. Looked the agent in the eyes. And waited. The crowd grew quiet. Not because they stopped caring. But because they knew, they were witnessing something sacred. Colonel Carter didn't ask for special treatment. All he asked for, was respect. Not for himself. But for the young man in the casket, for every soldier who never made it home. A senior staff member finally stepped in. He whispered something to the agent. She paused. Her hands trembled. Then she reached for the keyboard. "Colonel Carter, you may board now." The crowd didn't cheer. They didn't clap. They stood in silence, as Carter walked forward with purpose. The cargo was loaded. The casket, wrapped in a flag. Carter sat near the back. His eyes never left the window. When the plane landed, he stepped off first. He stood at attention as they rolled the casket down. His salute held longer than usual. He didn't speak to reporters. He didn't post online. But someone shared the video. And millions watched. Some lessons don't need to be shouted. Not because it was dramatic. Because it revealed the quiet power of standing for what's right. This moment went viral. This wasn't just about a seat on a plane. It was about dignity. History. And how silence can say everything.